All right. I'm Gary Kasper, and I play Gus in this thing. I don't come on for a little while.
And I'm Damien Puckler, and I play Max in the film.
Chasing butterflies. Chasing butterflies. So I got to Scotland, and I was waiting to get on camera, man. I wanted to get to know the cast, crew, and the director, David. I was just all kind of like, it's that always that pre-movie work experience where you're going to see how everybody's going to blend and how this is going to go. And I was sitting back.
How did it go, Gary?
I was sitting back watching you guys. You know, when we get to the part where you guys are mapping this thing out, I remember I was just over there stretching and watching and hanging out, getting a feel for the set.
So this is actually the part that we actually we were. This is from the old film, right? Is that correct? The beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is what blends it in from Redwood Massacre, and then this ties it into the Redwood Massacre Annihilation.
And it starts off nice.
Oh man.
Easy. There you go.
And it's a definite art form, man, that they David and those guys have, man, as far as creating just eerie, and then the slam down, the smashing effects of a
I always wonder about scenes like that, because I mean that's actually not easy, having to just lay there and look like you're dead and not breathing.
Yeah.
Blood. Was that? Yeah. Do you think that was shot in the same bunker that we were at? Because then it was cold too.
I think you know what, the bunker that we filmed in, I think was first time. I don't think it was in this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think they were there. I think they were at like farmhouses and stuff.
No, that's the bunker right there. Look, that's the ladder. That's
it is.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
Ben. He has this character down.
Ben is the guy who plays the monster, the burlap monster. Him right there. He's so good at this. He doesn't talk at all, but man, he makes it look so good.
All the subtle movements, all the little head movements he does and stuff, it's just amazing.
Just the way he just lifted up that knife. It wasn't just lifting it up and slamming it down. It was lifting it up with like some weird hesitated moves, and that's great.
And people think that's easy. They think, oh, I'll go in there and be that thing. And heck, man, it's a gift to be able to, put that into a character. It's easier to say words.
A little quiet moment though right now, because I'm coming.
There it is. There you go.
That was my moment. I have to have.
Hey, I was there. I was around on this shoot, man. As far as this part of it, this was gorgeous. With the drone stuff, flying the drone around.
This was one of the best days, because we were out in that landscape. It was just amazing. I mean, just look at that. Yeah. That is just amazing.
See, I wasn't here for this piece. Now, up in the mountains, you guys went off with the drone somewhere else. This is a different location, isn't it? Or is this
it's just further up the hill. We were still at the same location, but it's just further up the hill.
This is the Highland. And when we were up here, I was hoping to see one of the Scottish Highland cows. That's a bucket list for me. We go back to Scotland, I want to see the Highland cow, the big, huge horns.
Everybody has their own little bucket list. You want to see the horny cows in Scotland?
I'm a pretty simple guy, man. I'm a pretty simple guy.
See the horny Scottish cows. Fair enough. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know who did that on the IMDb trivia page, but somebody was talking about my tank top on the IMDb trivia page of this film. That was cool.
Dave was teasing you a lot during this, wasn't he? Telling you overacting and stuff.
Yeah, this was me driving the ride. Because it's the steering wheel's on the other side. Not that it matters.
Right.
But even when I lived in London, I had a car that was normal to me.
Oh wow.
So here we go. That was one of the first scenes I shot.
Hey, this is a powerful scene. This is when I realized, man, that you got this character really down as far as entire deep backstory and a reason why what he's doing. You're not just playing a mustache twitching bad guy. You're sitting there actually.
So you
go ahead.
I did some research.
You did some research, man.
Yeah, this was one of the first scenes that I shot. Not the very first scene, but one of the first scenes. And that was it was kind of it was interesting because I didn't know the cast and the crew that well. And then you had to go in there, and you're kind of joking around and everything, and then the camera goes on, and you had to be this complete psychopath. And you always kind of you try not to question yourself at that moment, but in your head you're thinking, what are they all thinking? Are they thinking that what's wrong with this guy? This guy's effed up, man. So yeah, it was interesting. So and that's
great. You did a great job on it.
She was so good, man. I keep saying that. I was so impressed because that's not easy to sit there. You have nothing, you can't do anything. You have nothing to do, just sit there and kind of act knowing that you're dying or going to be murdered. And that's not easy, man. Not easy at all.
And she's putting herself there mentally too, man. So this is so much energy on the body. Hey, so much energy to just pull off, you know?
And over again. I mean, we did obviously, how it is. You do a few takes, and it takes a little while. Everything takes longer than it looks, and yeah, she was in it, man, the whole time. Very, very impressive.
Looking good, man.
What do you say, huh? Fresh start.
That was
it's so also where she had no idea what you were going to do, you know, and so all of a sudden you come in and you're doing this. I'm sure her mind is like thinking, God, this is so different and creepy, because you'll visualize the scene sometimes and think how that other actor's going to go, and then all of a sudden it starts and you kind of go,
right,
oh my gosh.
Well, that's the fun part of acting, isn't it?
It is. And it's
that's why I don't like when you do too much rehearsal beforehand. I mean, I understand running the lines, but when people get too into it too much, it's almost like you pull away some of the excitement, you know what I mean?
Like you said, it's just you're reacting off of what's going on. It's just that's the magic of it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I like preparation, but at the same time, I love the surprise while it's happening, man, on camera.
You do like preparation? I've never noticed. Fooled me, Gary.
Yeah. I'm not the type of guy who shows up, when working with stunt guys. I've been there where you're in a scene and we're getting ready to do a scene, and one of the stunt guys will look at me and go, do I say anything in this scene? And I'm looking at them going, are you serious? And they're like, what's this? What are we doing? And it's just like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
With guys like you and me, we break this down and have ideas and throw ideas away and have this here and we'll go here, and it's just all of a sudden it starts and you kind of go and you let it happen. But man, the last thing is showing up thinking, what scene is this and what are we doing?
Well, that's like when I did a stunt for a television series where I literally there was no time. I came on set and the other stunt guys had rehearsed us to fight, and they told me what I'm going to do. I never once went through it, and then we shot it. I was like, what the flippin' hell? That was hard. Yeah. But in a way, it's fun too. But yeah.
Heavy duty opening scene, man, is, this is a dark movie. With family, I had to kind of go, hey, listen, if you're not used to these type of films, it's going to shock you, man. Yeah. See, my old Sunday school teacher goes on Facebook saying, oh, with big thumbs up, she's looking forward to watching it. It's like,
the cool thing about this one is, though, I think that it has all the slasher stuff and the crazy and the really macabre, really dark stuff in it, but it has actually some comedy and some fun stuff too. So I think it kind of speaks to a lot more people than just the horror. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Now, do you think David Keith had that planned?
David Keith had nothing planned. I'm just kidding.
Hey, roll camera. Let's see what happens.
Well, I just know that he said in another interview, I think I remember that he said that he wanted to not just do the stereotypical A+B=C kind of horror film. And I think that's good because, what's the point? I mean, I know that there's fans who just want to see exactly that, but, got to be a little daring, got to be a little risky, and you got to try to do something a little bit different. And I think you did. I think it turned out right. I think it turned out well. That's my opinion again. So
yeah.
I liked it. That was that scene was fun because that was the first time we drove through Aberdeen. For me, it was the first time I drove through Aberdeen, and you know, just the architecture and everything was so cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the people that live there were like, nah, it's all gray, and it's like because everything has these gray stones, but I thought it would look gorgeous. It just looked amazing. You know, everything looked so pristine and beautiful. And then we got to this library here, to this
library scene, man. Yeah, I came and watched this too, and I was still getting used to everybody. I was doing the same thing. I was kind of feeling out the cast and crew and everything, and I was like, oh man, this is a good little scene. Interesting choice that you come in here and you're kind of like a shy guy, you know. Did you play with this as far as when you were creating this guy? As far as
you know, it's funny. That was the only note I ever got from David Ryan Keith on my character, because when I first did it, I was even more almost like a little bit comedic, and he said, just tune it down a little bit, don't be too geeky. And then I did, and then that came out, and I think it worked, and it's good. I'm glad that he did, because, you know, otherwise
yeah, cool.
But yeah, but I wanted.
Hey, I also, everybody does a great job in this, man. John, it's a dynamite, man. He does have a great look, and he does. It's very believable having him.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Talking about in his hair, yeah. Oh, look at who's next to you there, Alistair.
Yeah. That's the guy who
he's working it too. He's working.
Well, he's the guy who actually wrote the actual book to the. You know,
Who should I make it out to?
If you're interested in that.
That's an interesting. Yeah. The little trivia there. The guy sitting next to Damien is the guy who wrote this book.
I found it most interesting. Most people do.
That was a fun scene. I enjoyed that, and I still have that sweatshirt.
And you know what? So it looks like a very simple scene. It's a lot of. There was a lot to this, you know, to put all this together as far as on it. And
it's always, that was also my first scene with John. You know, it's always when you meet an actor for the first time, you always kind of go, oh, let's see how this goes. Because you never know. Sometimes it goes great and smooth and well, and you're like, fantastic. Or you meet somebody you just don't click with. And it doesn't even have to be personally. It doesn't even have to be that you don't like the person. It just can be just, you just have different kind of rhythm or something, you know? So you have to figure that out. But no, that was very smooth. Very easy.
So now with you here and on the scene, you did that little adjustment for the character stuff. How's your mind on that? You just kind of just fall into it and go? Are you still kind of questioning yourself as an actor, person, bits and pieces, or how do you work?
I do have changed that. I the ending to your next best-selling book. Try, unless of course then the director says that's complete crap and don't do it. Try something else. But I do try to stick to my choices. Having said that, takes, I might try to change something up. I don't know, but I try to stick to the character choice. You know, because I think if you change too much the character choices while you're filming, then
no, you can't.
It might be all over.
Yeah.
The place, you know? That's the same with you, right? I mean, you have a certain type of character that you base everything on, but then you go into the scenes and then you play with that, right?
Like I said, I had a lot of ideas, and then I just let them throw them away, and then all of a sudden they would come back and go, okay, that kind of worked.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, you know, you play around, and I think you do realize what works and doesn't work. And sometimes you think something will work, and then you try it on set during a scene, and you go, no way.
Yeah, you try not to be married to it, man.
And then you do something. Yeah, and then you do something by accident, and you go, "This is freaking great! This is hilarious! This is good!" Yeah, like your role was the whole thing.
An accident. So hey, this is the house that we were staying at still, right? Now, is this a different house that you and I actually were staying at? Because you guys go into the garage again.
This is the house. Now, the interior is the house we were staying at. The exterior wasn't. The exterior was another house, but the interior.
Dude, wasn't that gorgeous? Overlook the ocean. It's just freaking paradise. Oh.
Yeah,
I slept great there too, man. It was just great.
It was awesome, and it was always light too. It was like 3 hours of darkness or something, because it was like the time of the year where the sun went down at 11 p.m. at night and came up again at like 3 a.m. morning. It's crazy.
So who's the couple in the photos?
That's one of the last scenes.
This scene coming up?
Ironically. This one right here. Towards the end.
Interesting house.
where actually.
See, that's a whole nother thing, man, about people don't sometimes realize about making a movie, man.
No,
hey, you've
exactly.
already done,
Yeah.
hey,
You've
already gone
stuff.
through all the other stuff for the character, and now you're coming back to this, you know, in the beginning of the movie.
Exactly, which is.
So Max, this is gonna take much longer. I really do have to
It's
get
always,
back.
that's always
Try and explain that. You know, when you see a good performance and you're watching it with family at times, I'll sit back and kind of go, you don't understand what this actor's looking at. He's creating that right now. And,
Jesus.
I think that's one of the hardest parts, all this out of
some kind of joke.
Continuity.
You know, the timeline thing, I would always try and keep little notes saying, okay, Gus has seen this. He saw these dead bodies. He hasn't seen dead bodies yet. He'll still be screwing around because it's still kind of fun. You know, because you get, you have a timeline.
It depends on what character you play, but sometimes it can be very hard. Like I've once played a character where I had to break down at the end, but I had to shoot that in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And that's tough because you don't really, you know, the whole makes it tougher. Here we go, Danielle
in the kickboxing thing. Hey, we rehearsed this the night before. Remember, we tried to put this together the night before, and Himdi was so tall. Himdi's so tall that she was supposed to be punching him, sparring with him, and then we changed it to the focus mitts, and we played around with that, and it worked better.
Which is good though. Yeah, because it makes it look tougher, I think, even than if she would have sparred.
Yeah.
Because she's just pounding. You know, she's just pounding it. And she's great picking up stuff.
Hey, man, she's an athlete all the way around.
Yeah. Badass, yeah.
And hey, she would just go for it too, you know? She didn't complain, man. Yeah. She just went for it. Hemdi, good reaction. Good reaction. I remember when he threw that down, I went, good reaction on the hit.
I'm not interested.
She hit him for real, though.
She might have. No.
She might have.
Will you at least hear me out?
And this is the introduction of her character, man.
Please?
Yeah, exactly. That was a great location.
Beautiful.
Great gem. Yeah. And what nobody knows is that we are actually right now walking around in socks because we had to take our shoes off in the gym,
in the
which
dojo.
Makes sense. But we in real life, in the film, we technically people would just walk into the gym, we wouldn't take our shoes off, but we were walking around in socks. Nobody actually knows this. It's funny.
So here, man, I remember just watching. I was just kind of just getting a feel for all you guys, all the actors that were working with and stuff. I wasn't on camera today at all, but I was off to the side, just kind of feeling you guys out.
But me and Danielle discussed that when we watched this film together. You know where this location is at? It's actually a school where people learn how to dissect bodies. They were actually. She said that. I assume she's correct. That there are actually dead bodies in the basement of this place where we shot, because
cadavers, man. Yeah.
Wow. People studying how to dissect people. So if I didn't know that at the time, it actually makes it kind of a little dark and eerie, considering we're talking about murders and homicide and slashers, and yet we're actually filming this in a place where people learn how to dissect bodies. That's kind of crazy.
David couldn't pull strings and get some cadavers up there for us for the film. I'm kidding.
Well, all the cadavers he got himself on the weekend from other things.
Matches the description.
So what? What difference does it make? Sarah's dead, Dad.
You know, this is in a film, man. This is always a tricky stuff. Because you want the film to continue moving forward and everything else. And this is a good scene, man, as far as on this whole piece where you guys all come together.
That's the first time I met Danielle that day.
Yeah.
Time I worked opposite. Again, I was like I had no idea, what she was going to be like. So I always kind of am a little, not nervous is the wrong way, but wrong word, but I'm always a little, anxious is also the wrong word, but you know what I mean. You're kind of a little bit like, okay, hopefully, I hope I like this. I hope this person clicks with me. Just as an actor now, like personality is always a different thing. But
right.
Kind of, yeah. And again, I have to say on this film, everyone, well, maybe not including you, but everyone else, we clicked and had a great time.
And it is interesting as far as, like you said, you're kind of feeding off of each other and see how you're going to react to this stuff, how you're going to say something, and how that's going to be, and it's tough, man, because you kind of rehearse it real quick and then you shoot it, and it's go. It just happens.
yeah, I mean, especially on a film like that, you don't have like so much time to rehearse and go over and over it. You know, this is a pretty quick turnaround.
And like you were saying earlier, it's kind of a good thing at times. It comes sometimes you'll get a very
so,
natural,
yeah, I
natural, real thing. If you're a character, you know, if you're uncomfortable in a piece, it actually kind of works at certain times. Kind of going, I didn't expect it this way. In my mind, when I was reading this scene, I thought it was going to go this way. Now the energy's going that way. And
well, that's funny you say that, because that's actually when I started acting, I rehearsed stuff at home, and I had this idea of how it should work out, and then I would go in, and in my mind, I kept that in my head, and I wasn't even listening to the other actors. I wasn't in the scene, and I kept saying, well, nothing fit. It was all like, what am I? I was
during
like,
during this scene right here.
No, like when I first started acting.
Oh, I got you.
You know, I was, and then I realized that you gotta get, you know, make choices at home, rehearse your lines, but you want to go in and just go what is thrown at you. You want to go with what is thrown at you, you know, instead of like sticking to exactly what you had in mind. Because there's some actors who come and will say the line exactly the same way over and over again, even if it doesn't even fit to what you just back at them. So I think that's the difference. I call it surfing. You know, you kind of you gotta stand up on that board on the wave. And then you got to go with the wave. You got to see where that wave takes you. You can't just say, no, I'm going this direction. The wave will not play with that. The wave will go, fuck you. I'm taking you off the board. You got to surf. You got to just, you know.
Yeah, you got to feel what, hey, you didn't know what Danielle was, how angry she was going to be towards you, or how non-trusting she's going to be towards your character, how all that kind of stuff. And so it's just like when you're in this scene, it's happening, you're kind of going, okay, we're going to play it like this. I'm going to try it like this. You know, yeah. It's also interesting to see, sometimes you think some of the stuff is melodramatic and you see it and you kind of go, that worked really well. It looked great on camera, you know, as far as on stuff, on certain.
Oh, God. Here we go. Let me make
this is like you said, man.
Let me make this official. This scene was written, and the idea for the scene was by David Ryan Keith. Not me.
It's something you got to commit to, man, and you did a great job on it.
That was one of the very first scenes I shot, so that was definitely. How was the cast and crew? How are they going to react to me after that one? I was like, oh Jesus, that was definitely a strange scene. I mean, definitely a strange scene.
She was a trooper, man, as far as just a professional, comfortable.
Oh, yeah. I was nervous.
I stayed out of the room. It was a closed set, so I wasn't in there, but I met her outside.
I'm sure you did a peekaboo.
Didn't peekaboo, man. Yeah. I just went, all right.
Well,
I'm glad your character is this guy. You know?
I was all nervous and kind of anxious about the scene. And I go in and I lie down in bed and she's there and she's like, "Hi, how you doing?" She's like completely naked. She's like, "Hey, what's up?" You know. So like, I'm like, "Hi, good, okay." So I'm gonna pretend that I'm humping you, and she's like, "Yeah, go ahead, pound the head, go ahead and have fun." She had a blast. I'm like, "Oh, gee," you know. But I mean, it doesn't. I mean. I'm sure that you know any sex scene is weird, but that particular sex scene was really strange.
Well, hey, listen, I remember there was a critic that goes, I go, I'm used to watching these type of films, and I'm just listening. He goes, there's a good a piece of in here that shook him up, you know, and he was impressed with it. He loved it. He thought it was. He thought, who could shake me up? And he goes, when it makes you physically uncomfortable watching it. And there's a hardcore guy who critiques film, and all of a sudden it's like it turned his stomach for a second. You go, well, you did your job. I mean, the scene did its job.
Yes, no, for sure, it definitely did. But it was it was a bit nerve-wracking to shoot, but in a way fun too. So memories, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just any experience.
Now here we are. Now here we are in the woods. We're going for our big hike, you know, to find that monster. And my character is this kind of I don't know. He's an idiot when it comes to camping and all that kind of stuff. He you know, thinks of himself like he's this kind of suave dude. So the character and the choice for the character was to put him in this James Dean-like jacket and a tank top and shoes that were not waterproof. And that's great for the character and it's fun for the film, but it was by no means any fun for me. It sucked. It was so cold. So cold. And then you'll see in a bit where I walked through the creek and my shoes were wet, my socks were wet, and they were wet for the whole day. And it was freezing. I was like, oh crap. So yeah, that was
that's funny, man. That is funny.
You don't think about that either, you know? I mean, you think it's funny to do this as a choice for the character, but what people don't know is that as an actor, you're going to have to go through with it. I mean,
you're in the elements for real. I mean, you're in the mountains in Scotland and you're trying to stay warm. And there's hours going, 12 hours go by and you're in the middle of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're not anywhere near our trailers or the trailer or whatever, like anything warm. We were
right.
We're,
yeah, you squat down by a log and lay down for a bit and rest. Yeah.
This little joke that they have these Wellingtons on and I have my stupid little shoes and she even jokes to me and says, you know, why didn't you bring any better footwork? And I'm like, I don't know, we're wading through water. And that's funny and it's cute, but I, after that scene, after we shot that, was walking around in wet shoes and socks for the rest of the day. I was like, fuck. It's cool. It's fun. But that was, I mean, you've got to say that the forest and just the way it looked, like, man, so.
And also, hey, it makes the character even more interesting having those type of flaws, man. He's not a superhero type of a slasher. He's a freaky dude, and all of a sudden he has a lot of problem, which I think is really kind of colors the character great.
So here comes Tevi.
Tevi, man, what a athlete too, also, man.
Yeah, Tevi coming in, joining the gang. You guys had great little charismatic, little funny, cute scenes.
She was fun. She had a lot of little ideas here and there too, as far as on things. She was fun.
You played off each other very, very well, and it was kind of funny and cute. You know, the whole kind of like sexual innuendo and sexual tension between you guys. And she's like, "Yeah, fuck you, fuck off," but in a perfect way. It's cool.
And you know, everybody has a friend that's like that. You know, when I first read Gus, I always go, you know, I got buddies that are just players, and then it was what you're talking about. I had the different flavors of it, you know, as far as on what Gus could be if he's going to be a player, and or is he kind of a nerdy player, or he's just kind of a big goon player, you know? And
yes.
so I had those. I didn't know which way it was going to go until we got going on this, and also how Tevi was going to treat me. And all that, so that's.
Oh, she went right with it, man. She was like, she went right with what. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is what we were talking about as far as you kind of just do the scene, all of a sudden you get that feeling, go, oh, we're going this direction with this. Great, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't an angry thing. It wasn't a big. That would have made me just an old perv.
Here we go now.
I'm an old perv anyway.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Oh, hey, so this piece, man, that was, you know, every time we do action, I always want more time. But we don't have it and stuff. And Damien, you saved it here to have you off camera going, buddy, is this working? Because I'm so big and she's so tiny that some of the elbows and knees, it was so hard to make this work.
See, they don't even understand. She is 4'9". Is that right? 4'9",
like
4'8"
4'10" or something.
Yeah,
6'3", 6'4" with boots on.
Yeah,
and,
well, you don't even see the difference here as much. You're like almost twice her size, man. And to make this work was not easy. But I think,
and it wasn't, man. Cause I remember, hey, we would do a piece of it, and then all of a sudden you go, no, it's a miss, buddy. You go again, and you go almost to throw a little deeper, get it in there deeper, and then we'll try it again. And I'm happy how it came out. I really am happy how it came out.
Oh, totally. Did you just grab her and hug her and not tell her? I love that.
You know, yeah, and also I called her a little badger, and I grabbed her and picked her up, and all that stuff was just like you're saying too, just kind of playing around. Hey, you know what? And teasing her, and we're kind of like, again, I got to meet her early on though, and get to know her a little bit before we were on camera together. You know, so I knew her.
No, great chemistry for sure.
Still ain't gonna happen.
I understand. You're afraid you're gonna fall in love with me. It's understandable. Tom. But I had no idea what you were going to do here. You know, as far as on our scene, man, I thought, how
well, isn't that
and like I said, I was worried that because we know each other and at parties and stuff. And I thought, man, if it turns into that, what's gonna happen?
Because that was the first scene we actually shot.
Yeah,
together ever.
Yeah,
ever, right? We've never shot a scene together before.
No.
Acting,
Oh yeah. No. Hey,
So, yeah,
listen, hold on. Back with Butchers or whatever.
We didn't have a scene together.
We didn't have a scene together.
No, we didn't. So that was the first time ever we actually had to act opposite each other on screen.
Yeah.
Which made it kind of a little nerve-wracking because because we take the piss out of each other all the time. So we don't know what's going to happen here, but I think we did both pretty well, I guess. So yeah, that was fun.
It was fun, so much fun. Because this whole thing, it was just like, where are we going with this in a rehearsal? We all rehearsed a little bit, and then we shot, and it was like, all right, let's see what happens.
I made sure that David got me some insoles, so it was like 62. In real life, you should never put a gun that close to the person.
Right.
I'm kidding. That was fun, man. That was good. I enjoyed that.
This was a lot of fun. It was fun just to see how this thing all flowed out and stuff like that too, as far as on it. Because like you said, everybody has something to put into the scene. And so you go, where's this going to take us? And
again, though, we didn't, we didn't try to rehearse it. We just went for it.
Right.
And I think that
I love the fact that you just sat back and it was just like looking at it going, you're not showing any fear. You're just sitting there. And I love that, as far as the whole thing.
Well, it's two alpha males or wannabe alpha males. I'm sure that Gus would be the real alpha male, but Max thinks that he's
I think Gus is just a big all over the place, and that's...
Yeah, but he's more of an alpha male than Max. Max thinks he's the alpha.
I think you could gut Gus in a heartbeat, as far as if it went. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a tough one. I think Gus is pretty tough. But I think that...
So, hey, a friend of mine always used to say, I bounced with this guy, and he would always try and get a girl to go home with him. He goes, hey, let me take you home and show you my etchings. And that's, I stole that. And I want to see him one day and go, you got to watch this movie. I used your player line. Hey, let's go check out my etchings. Yeah, he used to say that back when Gary Hart was in trouble and the politician thing and all that. I mean, we're talking years ago. And so that's where that line came from.
In the 1920s.
What you're talking about here, as far as the box of condoms and a bag of guns and a box of condoms. And again, I didn't know how this was going to go. Get laughing with each other, and then I liked the way that played out too. But again, I thought, am I going to just be a dick gone?
No, but that's good. That's perfect. And the thing is this, yeah, but with a character like that, the character that you have, it was good that you just threw in some stuff that wasn't even on the page.
And Danielle was laughing, and Danielle laughing with it too. It's a fun little bonding. You could tell now that we have some history together on this thing. As far as she knows that I'm a clown, and how far you take it. Yeah.
So originally, I think we had there was supposed to be some kind of shot of some campers, right?
There was actually, I think, an early piece of this thing, and then
they decided to take that out because it wasn't really working. And I think it's good that they did. It's kind of much smoother now. And the whole thing that's coming up with you, just because you're kind of staring at them in the woods with. It's coming up and
we hear them in the band way off far away, and it's like, well, they're going this deep into the forest now, and yeah.
I don't know. He was right here.
John's hair still looks great. There you go.
Look at how busted that nose is on this angle. Yeah, it is completely crooked.
How many times have you had your nose broken?
Oh, I had it fixed and re-broke.
Oh, well, I had it broken 3 times, and the 3rd time I broke back straighter. I remember coming home and my sister going, your nose looks straighter again. I'm like, oh.
The scar on the forehead is from a glass when I was bouncing out of a nightclub from a guy on PCP. He lit my forehead wide open, man. It's a stem broken in my hand, and he hit me in the forehead with it. And yeah,
I actually have a scar on my face from Brendan Fraser. Long story. I'm not going to mention it. And he was not on PCP.
Dude, this is a fun little piece here too, man. As far as I enjoyed kind of
Oh,
playing around with this.
Dude, I'm not joking now. No jokes aside, honestly, I'm not joking now. I was really impressed with you doing that, because that was really hard, because there's a lot of like talking about guns and making it supposed to be like very dear to you, and you really made it seemed extreme. No joke, I'm not joking, really, I really mean it. Like, you're talking about guns and it's funny, but to you as the character, it has to be really like serious and real, because he really feels for his guns. So that's not easy, because in a way you kind of go, is he taking the piss? Is he not taking the piss? But you know, as a character, you're not taking the piss. You really mean it. So that was not easy. And I watched that and I was like, damn, this is really cool. I really like that.
The funny thing on that was the insecurity of an actor. You're kind of going, man, I kind of am doing this. I don't know if it's right or not. And then you looked at me and you just said, dude, this is really good.
No,
and it made me feel, hey, and it gave me that security to go with it even further. You know, you take it the guy away. I didn't know. I go, I'm pulling these guns out and saying this crap, and I'm living it, but at the same time I go, is this any good? This
was actually a funny scene, because I remember sitting down to shoot this with Danielle, and I kept going like blowing into my hands, right? And David even said, I like that choice, and I said, it's not a choice, I'm freaking cold. I couldn't even feel my hands at that point. I was so cold. He's like, I like that choice. I'm like, it's not a choice. But the funniest thing is that the character he lies down and sleeps. In between us. And he isn't even like, and we're having this great conversation. You're like, why would you not wake up?
I thought the same thing. I'm laying there and I thought, just pretend I'm not here. I mean, just pretend you're not talking over a downed water buffalo that's laying in between you guys as you're talking.
Exactly.
That's cradling all his guns. He's cradling all of his guns as you guys are talking over the top of him.
That was the first scene with Danielle that was rather serious, because before we were just mocking each other, so that was a little bit.
And you know what? You guys bring out the best in each other too. You know, both of you guys have that ability when you're acting. When it can be this, you bring out the best.
I love working with her, because she has the same approach that I have, and you do too. That kind of just bounce off what comes at you.
Listen to each other, and you just kind of go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the fun part,
It really is. And like you said, you're kind of just seeing what she's going to do and how far she's going to push it, and then your character's going to truly react off of that.
And honestly, a little anecdote for actors. If anybody is an actor watching this right now, that's why I hate auditions, because you can't bounce off anything, because they will read it like this, or they cannot read, or whatever. It always seems really flat. And I always say, they make you come to an audition and they expect you to tango, and then they play hip hop music. Do you understand the idea?
No,
it's like
good point. It's so true.
It's
so true.
It's totally different. Auditioning is totally different than actually doing the job.
Yeah.
It's a whole different. It's an art in itself.
Hey, so I don't know if we can talk about this, but man, that's a real place here, and there's an underground. That's a real thing. But I guess we can't really don't say too much of where it's at, because it's secret.
No, we can't. I wouldn't even know how to say where it's at.
I couldn't. There's some sheep. There's sheep.
A lot of sheep there, exactly. So good luck finding it. But yeah, this is an old Second World War. Is it Second World War? I think.
Yeah. Hey, World War II into the Cold War.
And it was World War II bunker, American bunker. It's a U.S. bunker, right? It was a U.S. bunker, I think. And but it's
originally, and then it went back and forth to a different, and then it came back to us. Yeah, back to the U.S. Yeah.
And it's underneath that house, and it's pretty big. It's amazing. What
you have no idea that this is underground. I mean, it's real. It is a magic place. Amazing.
I remember you kicking that gate open about 20 times because you couldn't kick it open, right?
Also, we think we did like a shotgun blast on there. They were going to add.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it makes no sense. You're kicking the gate open with the lock on.
Which is my front kick anyway.
Damn, man, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Mm-hmm. I was watching Bloodsport the other day, and I was thinking you look like the sidekick, Jean-Claude Van Damme's sidekick in Bloodsport, the big guy.
Oh yeah, Don Gibb. Don, I know Don. Don's great, man. I worked with Don Gibb. He's great. The ogre, from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
they,
you boys. Yeah.
yeah.
He's right. This place has been abandoned for years.
That was a beautiful place. The house was pretty small, but the house is beautiful too.
Yeah.
It's a nice little
We're standing
place to
on it.
have.
You know, I got a buddy who does that ghost hunting thing, man. I was gonna try and set him up to this guy and go in there and look for, you know, ghosts and stuff. It'd be fun. This is real spot too, you know, he's on his property.
Yeah.
I don't know why I shoved you out of the way, man. And what is Gus going? Holy crap.
I think because I had.
Jackpot, baby.
No, it's perfect.
This was like, did I say bingo on this? No, gotcha. No,
You said something like, yeah.
yeah, there was a thing we always teasing David about. Gotcha. Bingo.
Somebody left.
Bingo. I think you said bingo.
Bingo. So we're gonna let her go in by herself.
Now,
But this worked. Hey,
I have something to say to this. You're 6'3", and she's 4'10", and
We
you're
said
opening the gates to hell, and you go, "Why don't you go ahead?" And she goes, "Yeah, go." She goes ahead. I don't think so, dude.
I
Why would
know.
she-
She made that work actually. She grabs me and then says, "Hey, I'm going," and it's like, you know, all right, you know.
No, I know it makes it
But
a perfect film because
It was like, hey, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go into the most dangerous place, and we're gonna send her by herself in.
Well, it's a horror film. We have to split up. There's no other way, right? you have to do stupid things.
You gotta
Why
find creative
why
ways
would
to
you let
split
her?
up.
Why would you let her go in there alone? But that's
Yeah, what are we
horror
doing out
films.
there anyway?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, we're sitting out there talking, waiting for her to scream.
looking at the sheet. This is all real. This is all real bunker. So this is all like the step ladders and all that stuff. This is all what's underneath that house in the middle of nowhere.
I love the lighting in here, man. And I like the way when the scenes inside this stuff. It just makes it. It's almost like black and white film and stuff. It's just some really cool little moments happen just because of the texture and the lighting.
Well, it looks like film noir.
These guys, man, as far as did a great job. David and the whole camera team, man, just made this really cool. I've been around long enough to know when you're doing interior stuff like this and it comes out crappy black and you don't see expressions, you don't see, you know, stuff from the old cameras and stuff, and now the new cameras and then the way they bounce, it's just.
Well, also you have experience from the silent movie era.
With the crank film in action, almost.
You've been around long enough to
experience it. But hey, the cameras back then, we'd be all excited about a scene, and then all of a sudden you'd get to this dark scene, and it would be just, it wouldn't have this texture, it wouldn't have the expression, seeing the eyes and seeing everything. So your acting actually matters.
Again, everybody who's watching this right now, this is the real hallway in that bunker underneath that house. That's a big, huge ass hallway, and it leads into deeper down. So it is generally a scary place.
Yeah,
it is. If you're down there alone, it's like, wow.
It puts you in the right frame of mind as far as on this thing, to be cautious and be hunting and stuff. It was such an easy thing to do. You know, the combination here of having that type of a texture in the place that we're having, and then having someone like Danielle and stuff who just talks to you during the scene. You know, as far as you guys, you're just, and it just became such a fun, like I said, it was a growth for me, and hopefully I can carry it on to other stuff, because this was definitely different. It was just like, wow, this is how it's supposed to go. Because a lot of times when you're doing stunt stuff, you're saying, I show up and they throw you into a scene, you're going to get beat up and punched. You have your little bit of dialogue, and you don't have time to get to know anybody, or you're fighting the stunt guys and stuff. And so you're just getting little bites of acting here and there because you're a stunt guy. So you come in but this, we had time now to create. Yeah. Man, it was just magic. This thing was definitely a magic project. I hope we don't do another one and it sucks. It's a nightmare experience in Scotland.
That's the best part of the film. When you throw the door open, and what do you go? What do you say?
Boogie boogie.
Boogie boogie. That was awesome. Yeah. That's the trailer for the film. Boogie boogie. I love it. That was awesome. That's so cool.
Hey, this is from being the youngest, having two older brothers, man. You get tortured your whole life. Your brothers scare the crap out of you.
You need to make a GIF of that. Boogie boogie.
Boogie boogie. I think Brian, the sound man, did a soundtrack music to that.
I think
Boogie boogie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it, Gus.
Yeah, here we go.
I thought you said
That's where you saw the size difference.
It is.
You know, so hey, think about that. Those guys had to catch that and that, you know, with a dolly. Yeah, and it had to be a nightmare when they were trying to plot this out, going, wow, we got two actors standing next to each other and their size is difference.
Yes.
Again, that's a real door that is heavier than hell. It's
Oh yeah.
This is real place, man.
And the further down you walked into that bunker, the colder it got.
Yeah.
And there was only, it does have a central heating system, but I don't think it was working. So they only had one room, like the green room for us, where we had some, some coffee and some food, where we could just chill, and that was warm. But everywhere else, when we were filming, it was freezing.
Yeah.
So again, when I come in later with a freaking tank top on, it wasn't fun.
and like I said, David Keith got me that jacket, man. I was gonna wear.
That was a great coat. You got it. You wore
it made it. You know, hey, I was gonna wear a Vietnam camouflage thing. I mean, that was an idea I had here in America, and then he sent me a picture of he was wearing that jacket. And he goes, "Hey, I was thinking about this jacket for Gus," and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
that's perfect."
Great.
Yeah, no, it's
perfect. And hey, I could go to sleep out there in this. That thing kept me warm.
We're coming to the best scene of the film. Now, there is a rumor. Is this true? There's a rumor that the object that we're going to see in a second was actually cast off of your privates. Is that correct?
I thought you were going to say because we go with the eyeball first, and it was written in the script, eyeball.
Yeah.
And then props. I remember picking this jar up, and I went, "You got to be kidding me!" And then we switched it to. I come over and say it's a human eyeball.
This is the eyeball, right? Or is this the second one? No, this is it. This is it.
That's a human eyeball.
This is hilarious. I love the way she goes. It's a human.
Yeah, that's the eyeball, and now
that's the eyeball. Yeah, this is it.
And you know, she had the hardest line in the whole movie, right here.
Yeah.
To pull this off and keep a straight face.
It's a human dick. And best part is that's it. That is the best, because when you stepped on it, it also, this is like some kind of juice splurted out.
The noise too it made. It shot that the water fluid out of it, and the juice. Man, it was just like, oh my gosh.
So David Ryan Keith said you took that home. Memorabilia, is that correct? You still have it? Yeah, okay. Never mind. No questions. No further questions.
They test me for steroids. I use that fake wiener with the thing on it. You know, use somebody else's piss.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would test you for steroids. I think you're safe. You actually need to be in good shape for that.
You know, it was wild as I was wondering, reading the script, all the guns that Gus has with him and stuff. And I thought, we're in Scotland and there's gun control there. And I was wondering what we would have, you know, on that thing.
Well, but those guns don't, none of these guns fire.
Right. The big Bubba, you know, that was a lampshade. That was actually a lamp. No, I mean a lamp.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the same in the rest of Europe. You're allowed to have guns that are replicas.
Yeah, the over and under, it was frozen solid also, just because of age. But but I think over and unders are legal over there because you can quail hunt and pheasant hunt.
Yeah, no, for sure. But then you have to have licenses for it. You can't just buy it. Like here, you can just buy it. It's a little trickier. I mean, I don't know, might not be stuff. Oh yeah, that room.
All right. You got something
It's these rooms are actually very eerie to come into too, man.
No, I
Very
know
easy.
exactly. And then
It's very easy to be kind of that cautious. Oh my gosh, what are we walking into? Thing. It made the scene, like you said, rather than sitting in a casting director's office and having her just looking at the paper going, blah, 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 and you're going, blah, 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 blah. This is like, man, you're walking, it's there, and you're talking, and you're trying to figure this stuff out. And it's fun stuff. And again, though, it was almost like keeping just notes of what has Gus seen up to this point, as far as on where he's at. Just because we bounced around and shot this at a whole different time and
exactly, yeah.
Shoot the ending, beginning on a film.
I wasn't there when you shot this that day.
I think you were sun tanning, and
I was laying out a nice Speedo, getting a nice little sun.
Swimming in the North Sea, in a Speedo, and then laying out, getting a tan. Waiting for the sex scene, but you had already shot that sex scene. So. Yeah,
well, I was in my neon green Speedo,
and you could eat normal food after that too, because you leaned out, man. Shirt's gonna be off.
I missed out on that fish and chips.
Yes, and they're legendary there.
Yeah, we went back for that ice cream though. That ice cream was really good.
And this is on the camera. This is Liam. Liam is the camper that has the yeah.
And the guy in the wallet is one of the crew members too. The driver license. So yeah, and this is Liam right there, the guy with the beard.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that after all this time, the battery's still working on the camera. How long has the camera? That's good. So there you go.
But this could have been that's right. We would have tied it back into all those years back. Yeah. I thought maybe it was a fresh kill.
That could be. Good part of the campers.
Whoa, it's us.
Scooby-Doo jeans back.
I like the way he tied that pistol. David, tied that pistol in here. Here, I give it to her, and then this thing gets tied back into it, and we ended up going full circle with that pistol, which is kind of cool. It's heavy, man. This is some heavy-duty stuff.
She had to do some serious stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That was not coming up.
Her scene coming up on that one.
Not easy. And I don't know, for people who are watching this right now, you see those hooks on the side of those walls. See, there are hooks everywhere, right? They're these kind of coat hanger hooks along the entire hallway. And I will get back to those when we talk about your fight scene.
Yeah.
Because they had me worried, man. They were steel hooks, and you guys were pounding each other against the walls, and I'm like,
hey, back of your neck, hey, back of your skull.
I know. That would be it, dude.
Yeah.
And you couldn't remove them. They're there. You cannot remove those. So, remember.
What the hell am I going to do with this?
That's a little later.
Have you lost your mind?
Yeah, I love this scene. What am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, you're right. And then they give her a bigger one. That's awesome. That's funny. That's good. I like it.
It's so funny, you have to do, trying to get that vest on and trying to get the jacket off and then get the vest on underneath the jacket.
It's another one of those things.
And then chamber 3 different guns and put clips in them and stuff.
That's another one of those things a lot of people don't understand about acting. You're supposed to do all this physical stuff while delivering your line. Sometimes it's like you go, what the hell? It's not easy to put that all together. It's like juggling.
We have to keep
yeah.
There's got to be another exit.
You've seen what's back.
And you can't just do it. You have to do it in a certain way. You have to turn a certain way. You can't move your head too fast because it's all about the camera capturing it too. You can't just do it naturally. You know how a lot of times, sometimes you have to do a scene where you're leaning in and you're standing in a weird position like you're about to fall over, but that looks good on camera. In real life, it would look stupid.
Yeah.
I have something
That's me bringing
A gift.
bringing him the mask.
Yeah, and you're talking to him. I mean, this is cool. It's like feeding a lion, man. As far as, you know, you don't know if he's going to take you out or if you're going to be. You've been following him. You're a fan of his.
What a lot of people don't know about this mask is also interesting. The mask itself is yes, it's burlap, but it's actually the mask itself. The mask that we're using is solid. It's rock hard, you know. So it doesn't, you know, fall over. It's rock hard, and it's glued, so it stays. It has the same look the whole time. So it's glued. So once you have it on, you can't breathe in that thing at all. So I had a tough time doing the sex scene. I don't even understand how Ben, you know, did all the stuff he did, like the fight scene with you.
You're right.
Man,
That's why he, like I said, when we get to that, we'll talk about it. He almost passed out because of that.
you can't breathe in that thing at all. It was crazy. You know, good for him, man. And here again, look at him, man. He's just so.
Man.
It's just his little.
He's great.
movements.
He's like a giant grizzly bear, man.
Just the way he just put the hands down like along.
And then the head movement, the neck movement. I know.
And yeah, it's just it's not easy, man. That's brilliant. It is. Look, just the way he just tilted his head there. It's great. Oh, it's Ryan.
Ryan.
One of the sound guys. He's actually just done a film himself as an actor.
This guy's like a Braveheart type of a Scotsman.
Yeah, he totally is.
Please.
They shot this. We were already back in the United States when they shot.
Yeah.
it. And this is a tough scene, man. For for Ryan, that's not easy because he has to pretend like someone's sewing his legs up. You always feel like you're gonna go overboard.
Yeah, man.
No, you great job, man. Again.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Unless I don't know, maybe David told Ben.
Actually cut his legs. So we haven't seen Brian.
I know.
I haven't seen him since. So he maybe.
Maybe.
I wonder if he's still wakeboarding and stuff, teaching wakeboarding without his legs.
Not anymore. He's shorter than Danielle now. Yeah. It looks pretty darn good.
This is wicked stuff, man. Oh.
Now this is actually not shot. This is not in the bunker, right?
This is in the prison.
This is in an abandoned prison that was eerie and crazy in itself. It's an old high security, top security prison in Scotland. And it's used as a museum, part of it, right? Is that right?
Part of it is a museum. This one is just kept as it was,
yeah.
and there's dead birds.
That the part they shot in was in a part that has just been left, right? So there have been dead birds, and
so birds would get into the building and then die in there and stuff like that. So there's dead birds laying on the webbing, and there's nets for anti-suicide nets. If guys were going to try and jump off that upper rail to kill themselves, there's this netting that would catch them.
So just without any kind of decoration, it was eerie as fuck already. It was already in itself,
a piece of history.
And it's big.
And they had this concrete room also for solitary confinement. It's just a concrete room. They stick you in a box.
Is that's where David kept you for a while?
Yeah. For lunch.
Get you, yeah.
So, we talk about as an actor and you're playing with stuff. I remember messing with the character and I thought, well, this guy, Gus is a self-motivator. He would talk to himself. And then I threw it away. And then we got here and then we had all the hallway stuff. And so I started kind of just having Gus talk to himself, as far as when he's getting ready. So he's saying all kinds of little. Yeah,
no, this is, I actually really like that. I hadn't seen, I wasn't there when you shot this.
Yeah.
So when I actually watched the film the first time, I saw that. I really like that because it gives Gus a lot of humanity, because you do play a character that's bigger than life. Gus is that type of character that you have in real life. These people that are bigger than life. They're just big guys and they're funny and everything. But he becomes very human. It becomes very real because you can see that he's actually scared himself. Yeah. And that he actually, he talks. I like that. I love that choice.
Self-motivated. He talks to himself out loud. He's that kind of a. And like I said, I had put that in my notes when I was messing with the character, and then I threw it away. And all of a sudden, it just came out here, and I went, "Oh, okay,
Perfect.
This Gus would be doing this. He was talking to himself."
It's good.
Some of these rooms were good, and some of these rooms weren't that good. You know, as far as you know, the setup for the gore.
Yeah.
And then here was that one little line there, man. You don't know how to. We did it. I remember telling David, let me do it a couple different ways, because it's like, it's a graveyard up here, man. Or it's a fucking graveyard up here, man. They're coming over the wire. You know, like with craziness. And you're like, oh, buddy, let me just lay that down a few different ways. And you're editing, you find the one you can.
Well, he picked the one that's perfect, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's nice and just straightforward.
Didn't stand a chance.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's
What a way to go.
kind of find out really what's going to go on.
That's him.
And this is a whole group of 4 people jammed into a little scene here, and we're all hitting dialogue. So you're trying to, everybody's doing, it's funny how these little scenes are, they're tougher than they look.
No, because everybody speaks over each other in a way, and you have to make it natural and keep the pace up, you know. Which doesn't mean you're rushing it. People will misunderstand that. Picking up the pace.
That's it. And I remember thinking also, Gus wouldn't be just staring at the photos. He'd want to see him, but he's the guard dog. He's the sheepdog. He's trying to keep, you know, everything around him, what's going on, and then he's jumping into the conversation, but he's going back out on there trying to see what's coming, you know. Chevy, man, she was crying here. She's solid on this scene, man. And these are tough. Hey, you start crying early, and then you're going to dry up and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting, as David, we were talking about that. David goes, "Don't give me too much too soon," and all this. And if you're going to dry up on me, don't, you know. And I'm like, "Wow, dude," you know. As far as
it's a cute little scene, though. It's again, this scene again shows a different kind of Gus. It really shows that Gus is human, you know. Which is because you know, you can see films where the character stays one-dimensional, and that wasn't the case. Gus here has all different shades.
And this is because of the writing on this one, man. They gave me some scenes to actually have a place to put those in there, which was nice, you know.
Yeah,
David's writing on this.
That's what David Ryan Keith did with me in the sex scene.
But Tev, man, Tevi threw down on that, man.
You got this beautiful scene with Tevi here. I got the sex scene. No further comment. Oh, this is yeah.
Hey, you got a scene coming up, man.
This is coming up soon now. Yeah, this is the tough scene for her.
Yeah, so it's for her, man. Yeah, she being tied up and all the stuff. And again, you're trying to find the levels of what, you know.
Yeah.
How far do you take it, man? You know, and stuff. It's interesting. She did great.
That's back in the bunker.
Max? Max?
Look at that lighting, man. Just amazing.
Beautiful.
This is not as easy as people think, you know. They think it's just like that, the lighting. But no, especially if you're in a place like that, you don't have too many, you know, it's a relocation. You don't have walls you can take out or anything. You have to be quite inventive, you know, to get that light the way you want to. It's not as easy as people think. People always think, "Hey, you just put a light there." No, it's not like that. You light, and all of a sudden you have a shadow. You have to take the shadow out with another light, then you create another shadow. You're like, "Gee, it's not easy." It's lighting.
And you're bouncing it. Hey, give it some depth. Yeah. You give it some texture. You give it a texture and then some depth.
Yeah,
you know.
So and then you finally have the lighting right, and then people go, "Well, we're going to see the boom here. We're going to see the mic. We're going to not see that. We have to turn it around." You go, "Oh, Jesus." So yeah.
That's nice, man.
Oh yeah, the generator. Was that a real run? There was a real running generator, right?
Yeah.
What was that? A real generator, or what was it?
Yeah, it's a real generator up there. And we turn it on and off.
Most of the breakers are shot.
This place goes dark, we're in trouble.
Backup power's the best we're gonna do. Hey, we need to find out.
I think David, you know, did location scouting and added some of the stuff into it, I think, you know.
You don't. That's a generator they put there.
It was there, man. Everything was just there.
It's hard to tell. That hunk of junk up there's a diesel engine. But somebody's been keeping it going.
Oh, is that when you? Yep. That's a really strange scene. She comes across so eerie.
Great, I know.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Hey,
like,
you just, you know what? She's very pretty and she's very eerie, man. As far as on it, you see it and you just go, it's great.
the whole scene.
It's like, and also just so out of place.
That's what I was gonna say. It's so out of place. It's so like, what the is going on right now? And I actually like that. I like stuff like that. When you're completely thrown, because you think you know exactly what comes next, and you go, what the hell is going on now? I like
And
that.
again, coming up, this is part of the real location too, man. The hole in the ground. Danielle's been doing this so long, man. It's just a natural for her to play, you know, everything just, and she can jump right.
Yeah, like
She can jump right into it also, you know.
like we discussed before. She actually had her baby with her. She was taking care of a baby, watching a film.
Yeah.
And just jump right into a
She
scene.
might know the way out.
When we would be doing breathing exercises.
I need push-ups. Hey,
Yeah,
push-ups
baby,
and running,
and then
hey, running the back
action
and forth in the
like
hallway.
that. Exactly.
Hey, trying to get up there, get your, you know, get your energy going. And that's the real deal. Stepping on that thing right there.
I like the fact that you stepped on the thing and you noticed it. That's the biggest freaking, hugest freaking whatever door on the ground that you can see. You didn't even notice that when you walked in.
And this is a real angle. This thing is a big pit down there that used to hold.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was for. Water tank or something. I don't know what it was for. But down in there, it was eerie to be in that when you went down the bottom down there.
This I always feel
hey
for those people.
Both of you guys solid on this.
See it again here. That's tough. You should feel honored. And she was cold too. She was so cold. I mean, she's in a tank top right there. I mean, I was freezing my ass off, and she was like, you know, and there's nothing on her. So yeah, that's cold, man.
She's a diver. You know, she does a deep diving, free dives.
Right.
So her body is kind of set up for some abuse, you know, as far as this type of stuff.
It's funny because when we started this, I said, Tevi, I want to. I always ask. I say, is it okay if I move that blade down your breasts and then into your crotch? You know, I always want to ask the actor.
You got to though. That's a professional thing to do, man.
Some people don't. They want to throw the after, but I did. And she was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." She was like, "Yeah, cool, awesome."
Yeah.
Good. But it's a little uncomfortable too. You know, you just don't want to just do it because you make sure that.
Because if you cross that line, you can't fix it, you know. And then all of a sudden, if you ask and then you go for it, and she's comfortable with it, then it's great, man. Yeah. This is all great stuff. Great stuff.
Don't worry, I'll be watching.
Please help me.
And then David wanted the shot.
Please come back.
He talked about like Hitchcock type shot. That shot is.
See, I love that stuff. That's the stuff I love, man.
Yeah,
it crosses art.
It's so cheesy, but it's so like perfect. It's perfect for what it is.
I think it just throws back, like you said, the Hitchcock history to art. It's beautiful, man.
There comes Ben. I mean, if I had to play that part that Tevi was playing, I'd honestly probably be shitting my pants right now, no matter what. Even if I was sure it's just a scene in the film. It's kind of eerie, man. Him coming up and grabbing the blade, and you can't see him because he's right behind you, and all that kind of.
And just sheer size of him and all the feel of it. Oh yeah.
Again, I think they did that for real. Looks pretty darn good.
You know, the power of that David's real good at creating, you know, as far as and Ben, you know, as far as that little children, it's just such a violent, without showing it, it's still a super violent thing. You know, it's old school. Interesting scene here, man.
Donna, I'm Laura.
This one, yes.
Please, you gotta get me out of this place. Okay, you're safe now. Just take a deep breath. Just try and relax.
How'd you find this place?
We were just camping. It killed my husband. Who did?
Very cool. She's great.
Well, she was very good at playing it. So it's off. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's off, but it's off in a good way. It's off.
I know exactly what you're saying. There's a trick to it.
You watch it and you go, huh? You kind of feel you feel uncomfortable with her, and you don't, you know, and yet you don't
quite know why, too.
Yeah,
you know?
because you don't think of her as being evil or anything. You just think it's off.
Yeah.
Why is it off? Yeah. This I will never understand. Why the hell did you just walk around the corner to talk to yourself? Yeah, I know.
Back, you know, and say she's got heels on, man. She's not running through the forest.
Which is the point. Yeah, it's a good point.
So I didn't want to say it in front of her. So I'm like, when I looked at her and I went like this to
why
get her around the corner, and it's gonna give the movie a moment to where'd she go?
Oh. Like two stooges right there.
Yeah.
You're definitely curly.
Yep.
Oh, this scene was fun.
Ah, there it is.
That's all I had to do that day. Just come in, stand, look at him.
Now this location.
That's the prison too. That's the
prison. Yeah.
That's the prison, and that was, I think, the kitchen in the prison, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You okay?
I love the camera movement. This is so powerful.
It's so funny because that's all I had to do that day. Come in, stand.
So freaking powerful.
Done.
That was it. That was a day's work.
Yeah. It's funny how that's
good though, man.
And then you have days where you have 5,000 lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just the way it is.
You have a scene coming up, man. I remember you wanted to prep for it, man, because it's
again, amazing location.
You know, it's interesting. I haven't asked David Keith about how he filmed. Some directors, you know, in their mind as they're filming, they're thinking about how they're going to edit it. They already know how they're going to edit. He does that, I think, but I didn't talk to him too much.
I think he does, yes. Yeah. No, I think he does, and I think that makes a big difference. I think you can really tell.
You know, you'll see it and go, hey, that's what I needed right there. You know, I needed that, and I have it in my mind where that goes for the film and how I'm going to edit this thing.
Well, we've both spoken about the fact that he has a natural talent, an eye that you can't learn it. You have it.
I totally. That's it. I totally agree. Because and he's able to. Yeah.
You know, he naturally sees things that, and you can study film forever. If you don't have that, I think instinctively, I don't think you can.
Right,
really
and to be a director and be able to also know how you want to edit like this, as far as. He saved stuff and made a scene just so much better at times on just his editing, and also the coverage when you get the coverage, you know, on the stuff.
Yeah. Well, he made you look good, so he must be a brilliant. He must be unbelievably brilliant. He's a genius.
He's a miracle worker, man.
Now this is I hadn't seen that scene. I hadn't seen that scene until the finished film because I was not on set that day with Tevi laying there. She told me about it. She said she was so cold because that prison was also very cold.
Discipline. Her discipline being a free diver, you know, holding her breath for 3 minutes and all that kind of stuff. Because hey, listen, if her rib cage moved at all, you know, like you were talking about, it's hard to be laying there with a dead body. And all of a sudden the camera stays on you for, 30, 40 seconds, a minute. You know, you can't be moving. Your rib cage can't be moving. And also, like you said, just to take the abuse of, she's on there for hour, you know, that long period of time.
Exactly. She had to be on that table for
2 or 3 hours laying on a steel table.
Yeah, because people think they watch the scene. Well, she's only on there for 3 minutes. No. That's not how it works. And she's on there forever. But I was, dare I say it, quite impressed by John with this whole scene here. Him getting, this whole thing here, being scared thing and hiding under the table. Because I hadn't seen it until the.
Yeah, I think he looks great, man. On things.
It works well. Yeah. And his hair still looks great. That mask, whoever came up with that mask, it's so hard to come up with something original these days. But that mask is.
And you see the way it catches the shadows, man. It makes it even more eerie under the shadows. It's incredible.
Yeah, this is all pretty good. I'm scared.
I didn't even ask it. I wonder if they're hand holding those on these guys here. You see the wobble in the camera and stuff like that. It's a good stuff.
Well, it makes it, it's handheld, which is perfect because it gives you that kind of like nervous feeling, that, anxious, scared.
And again, the editing, man, just cutting back and forth to Tev, back to this and everything else. It's great.
And here comes Ben. I mean, just look at the way he walks. I'm sorry. Try doing that. Film yourself trying doing that. It's not as easy as it looks.
It's not.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, he owns that character, man.
Oh, heck yeah, he does.
Shrugs his shoulders. Is this a little?
I was just going to say that.
Little tiny things, man. It just makes it just so alive.
Yeah.
You feel for the. You feel his feeling. You feel him.
Yeah. I agree. And there comes Gus trying to fix him.
Sure you can get that
MacGyver, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's a scene coming up here where I had one line, one word, and I had him do like 40 takes on it. It just didn't feel right, man. So as an actor, you're going, let me have one more, I'll give it to you. Let me have one more, I'll give it to you.
After that,
and it's talking into the thing. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I think it's after that day he decided not to work.
They're never going to put me on a microphone talking into a mic again. You know?
Like, okay, next character I write for you, Gary, is going to be a mime. Mute. This all works really well.
Dynamite, man. Yeah.
Why would you ever bring a shrapnel rifle to something like that? I mean, that has 2 bullets.
Right.
That's all it got. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you really, it's nothing. It's a hunting rifle. I mean, you have two shots. Yes, it's shrapnel, but what are you gonna do with it? It's too long and it's too big. You don't want that. That's the last gun I would want in that situation.
It's for hunting pheasant. Hey, for hunting pheasant. Yeah.
It's the last gun I would want in that situation. I mean,
but you won't miss it close range.
Well, yeah,
you won't miss it close range.
But you're also fighting something that's supernatural, so you don't even know if they're going to affect them. I mean,
see, shots like this, so cool.
This is awesome.
Cool.
This is the money shot right there.
You stack it here and have evil right behind you. It's just freaking great.
And I love the fact you see his twitching of the head.
Yeah.
It's him twitching, and it's like you realize you feel that he's thinking, right?
You know, I wonder if Ben did a backstory on this thing, you know, as far as what happened to him and why he is what he is and everything else. I wonder if he went that deep with it, or he just created this and it's just a natural at it, you know?
So he walks away, and then I like this whole idea of how it.
Ah, so good, man.
Because I love that he walks away from the one side, and then John turns around and looks, and you think it's fine, and then he comes up in the back.
He's
and
right behind him.
That's awesome. And even better is this part. This is the funniest part in the film. I love it. Where he goes and come on. Watch. Soccer kick. soccer kicks the freaking head down the hallway. That's cool. Awesome. Should I say it's just football kicks?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Danielle, no matter how small she is, her expression, she's fierce, man.
Yeah.
She seems tough no matter what.
Hey, like I said, she comes alive every time the camera rolls, man. She just captured it. She's just such a pro, so professional.
I don't know what she was doing with us. Those were all real dead people.
Borrowed from the cadaver place.
Yeah, exactly. It's all real. All of this is real. That's the necklace that her sister had in the first film.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
I remember watching this. You guys do the same, man.
Yeah, this was funny because I had to. Well, you see what I'm going to do, but I had to do that without obviously really striking her, and so you kind of strike, but then you pull the strike, you hold it. It feels awkward to do that, but it actually looks perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's a point of view. So I show up here in the background.
Again, man, the pan over with you revealing you, I love that. Freaking love it. That's Hitchcockish.
Yeah, she turns around. See that? Like I had to stop that.
Yeah, I remember.
It feels awkward, but it looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is your famous scene?
Hey, this took about 4 days. Hey, 4 days to get this line right. Yeah. The production fell behind 4 days off of this one piece right here.
I remember walking past your trailer and hearing your trailer. Hello.
And so, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do when you do that? You yell "fuck" as loud as you can to just cover it. Fuck, and then that covers everything. Yeah.
Now this scene here, I gotta explain this. We are shooting this scene without seeing anything. So all this stuff on the other side, like the monster and the dead John's dead body, we didn't see any of that. Not only did we not see that, we had no idea what was supposed to happen because they hadn't decided how to actually kill John off yet. They hadn't decided how the monster was going to take him apart. So we were looking into an empty room, and we just had to say our lines. That was the hardest part of the whole film. Me and Danielle, that was so tough because we didn't
Yeah,
know.
you guys did great,
No,
man. You guys created both of you guys created something that was just wonderful, man.
That was a tough one, and that's when, as an actor, you really start kind of questioning yourself. Like, I don't know, is this good? Is this too much?
Yeah.
Because you don't even know what you're watching. So that was a tough one. All that stuff we didn't see.
You know, he pulls pieces like that. He pulls guts out and looks at them. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's hilarious.
You're holding her head up to make her watch.
Yes. Well, again, I didn't know he was going to do that, but you know, so it fits. Again, it's David knowing the editing, and he probably looked at this, and then saw me pull the head up, and then he knew he had put something in where it looked like, you know, I wanted her to look up, and it works perfect. I mean, he made it work for sure.
You ought to be proud of that.
Here comes the part. So, again, like you were saying early on, fight scenes. We are, as stuntmen, we're used to rehearse fight scenes days, if not even weeks, right? Sometimes.
Honestly,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what.
But yeah.
But you try to get as much time in as you can, and yet here we were rehearsing this in between lunch, during breaks. We didn't have much time at all.
No.
And you know, and again, we were so lucky we had Danielle, because she's somebody who picks it up so fast,
Yeah.
and who's physical and who understands it, you know. So we were.
And I can remember talking to you early on, man. You were deciding to do the film or not, and I remember thinking, buddy, you know, without your ability of martial arts and also stunts, if we just had a guy who couldn't, you know, it would have been a whole different thing.
Fuck you.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
You're able to kind of step in and just bang it, you know, and hit it and make it work.
You mean get banged? Because when you see what happens, she kicks the
Yeah.
crap out of me, and I love it.
See, this little standoff, that whole thing is good, man. Again, you make this character, again, a human, just a whole nother layer inside the character.
That was a tough one, because I have a lot to say. I say a lot, and I hate when the bad guy says a lot, because then it becomes so very dark and British and so evil, you know. You don't want to be too jerky. You want it to be a little bit more real, which is tough, because you have so much to say. You just know, why is he saying so much? But you know, I made it more like, you know, whatever. So and she played this perfect. And when she snaps at me, it's perfect.
Hey, did
too.
you guys rehearse this off before you did a read through together, just to get a feel for it, or did you guys just go for it?
Not at all. But I tell you what, I'm glad she didn't ask me, because at that point I knew her so well that I knew that she was gonna be on it, right? And I just had to be feeling out what she's gonna do. You know, just go with what she does. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, if I know the actor will bring it, I'm good. I'm like, just fucking okay. Let's see what happens. You know, I mean, you know how it is. You don't do it just once anyway. You do it a few times, because the
Right.
has to sound, and you kind of get those rehearsals that you need, but you don't.
Yeah,
want
the
to
little pieces that you go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you just but then it's still fresh, and it feels
Yeah.
real. So our little fight scene right here. I mean, this is a small girl. You know, right there, she hits him in the throat. You know, we're trying to give her some kind of advantage, because I mean, you know, in real life, this is not easy for
It's
a small
good,
girl like
man.
that. You know? But you know, she just kind of blitzkrieg goes right in, you know, just freaking, and right there, right into my. I didn't have a groin gator on.
No cup on. She.
Since that
And
fight
this
scene,
was
I'm
tough,
talking like this.
Hey, getting the distance in here with the feet and the hands, man, to get it's great reaction. Just sold that.
No, she actually hit me. It's funny, because my brother watched that and he said, I can't watch that twice. It looks horrible when you get your ass kicked. It looks good. Like, look at that. Oh, my blood, man. And then the scene that comes up.
It's funny because that fight sequence, remember we were in that room playing around with it to put it together real quick to show Danielle, you know?
Yes.
It was freaking quick.
Yeah, we were doing it in between lunchtime, so
Yeah.
lunchtime
And
at
then
all.
so, hey Danielle, let's show you this. I want to show you something.
But she picked it up right away. Now
Fast.
again, so I got my ass kicked and I had all this blood on, right? So obviously we weren't gonna stop. We were gonna go into the next scene so the blood stays the same and looks the same. We couldn't recreate that, right? But to do that, I had to lie on that floor. That's in the bunker, in the cement floor, in my tank top. And I'm not bitching or complaining here, but I had to lie there for maybe an hour, a good hour on that floor. It was cold, my friend. Cold. So if my nipples are showing, that's why. And this is the best part, because I love the fact that my character is so messed up that he actually loves the fact that he gets murdered by this killer.
Yeah.
You know, because Ben picks me up and I even say beautiful. I mean, who the hell does that? He's about to get killed and he's like, wow, he loves it.
Yeah. It's a whole nother layer, a whole nother world that this guy's coming from.
It's totally crazy, man.
You know, it's Sam doing the had blood all over her, you know, when
yes.
On this here, and she's doing the effects on this one piece.
And there goes my head. The great head. There's a whole story about my fake head, but we're not gonna get into that. That's for Comic-Cons. Ask us about the fake head. We'll tell you all about it. That's not the fake head. That's Gary's face.
That's the actual largest head of any living land mammal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that actual head almost didn't fit into the bunker. How many times have you played an ogre?
Yeah, every year.
Many times. See, now it's the two big guys are about to clash of the Titans. This is all about Clash of the Titans now. So. And I like it. I like the fact that you didn't now play Gus too tough. As in too like, I'm gonna fuck you up, you know? He's scared. You can tell he's scared.
Yeah.
In the end, he comes around, right? Which we'll get to, but I like the way you played that, because you could have easily played it like, I'm John Rambo and I'm gonna kick some ass.
Yeah,
I think it would have been too easy, too straightforward, and not as you know. I think anybody, doesn't matter who you are, in that situation would be like a little nervous, to say the least.
Yeah.
No matter how tough you are, even, dare I say it, Chuck.
If you want to arrest me, come down here and fucking get me.
And this apparatus was actually in the caves and in one of the rooms in the caverns, man. So that was from either World War II or the Cold War.
And is this an actual? It's I don't know. It's probably not working anymore. But was this an actual radio?
Yeah. At one point, it was an actual circuit deal, but they tore out a lot of the electricals, so you couldn't figure out what they were actually doing in these caves and stuff. You know, government-wise. World War II and then the Cold War. So they pulled a lot out, but they left this thing in there. And it had all the actual put the pins in and pull it out and calling Moscow.
Yeah.
Send the bombs.
Yeah, you probably by accident.
Yeah, I accidentally launched some bomb from there.
Is that Big Bubba?
Yeah, I got the big machine gun now, man. That's a whole other thing you're talking about as an actor, how you're going to react on the impact on this thing. So,
right.
We actually watched some footage of this gun being fired, and it doesn't kick as bad as you would think.
Yeah, well, that's, but right there. When
Barry got me footage. He sent me footage and goes, Barry goes, this is the gun being fired, a real one, and it wasn't kicking like this.
No, it looks great the way you did that, and that's so hard. Again, people don't understand how hard that is.
Yeah.
You know, because
things like this is real tough here too, because you're trying to pull. You know, I got my dog in my arms, and they just put him down. I'm holding my dog that I've had for 15 years, and it's dying in my arms, You know, you're trying to pull some real emotions here.
I know, but again, Gary, seriously, you know, Gus is such a bigger than life character and everything, but here he becomes human, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. That's freaking great.
Yeah, and then again, that scene kind of getting to experiment and play and push things and stuff. And then this here was an ad lib.
Right after that scene of him being very vulnerable, he comes out and he goes even bigger than life. But that makes sense because he is probably in shock and he's actually scared. So you kind of get this adrenaline rush that makes you even, come on. You know?
And here's something interesting on that. That edit just happened right there. When I came out and then did that, David Key said something, and he was like, I know what I'm going to do with this. And so he saw that happen, and his brain clicked to having Ben go and hear that, you know, because it wasn't written that I was screaming, you know. It had me going, you want, you know, talking to himself about Bubba and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Oh, nice.
And then the pistol's back into this again now. So we talked about it early on, and now we got the pistol back in here, and I bury this thing, reload it, and put it on my body again.
The whole film is actually about the pistol.
This was tough when you read it, you know. You go, okay, listen, man, I've been hunting for this thing, and it's killed off everybody I love, and I want to kill this thing. And then you see this in movies, and you always go, wow, what do I do with this, you know? What do you do when you're face to face with it? And you could just pull that trigger and blow the shit out of it. And then he throws his axe down. Now,
again, let me go back now to what I was saying before. You see those hooks on the side of the wall, those iron hooks. They are you cannot remove them. They're down the entire hallway, and there's only maybe like 3 feet in between them, right? And this whole scene was a tough scene. This fight scene was a tough fight scene because the hallway is bare. The hallway is bare, right?
It's so tight also. It's a real tight hallway. Camera angles are tough.
Yeah, we placed some stuff on the side to have something to play with. And as you said, the camera angles are really tough to get, you know? And you were rehearsing with Ben, you were rehearsing the fight with Ben, who's not a stunt fighter. And again, just like Danielle, so amazingly lucky for us to get Ben, just like Danielle, who's so amazingly talented to pick it up and actually make it work, because it's not easy, right?
He put the violence into it, and he was like a big bear. It worked so well as far as he wasn't, you know, bouncing my head off the steel railings and stuff like that. He knew how to fight. Well, he knew how to do this and look violent without tearing me to shreds.
Yeah, and a lot of times when actors do that, or anybody who doesn't know any stunt fighting, their adrenaline goes up so high that they make mistakes, or they do something that's a little dangerous. Like, you know, with those hooks could have easily gone wrong. But he stayed focused. And again, you got to remember, you can't breathe in that mask. And you guys are two big guys, and you're going for it. I mean, I actually I'm very happy the way it turned out, considering no time, no space, you know, and all that stuff. It's so hard to do. And you guys really went for it. I mean, look at this. I was watching this going, not too close to the hook, not too close to the hook.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, look, fighting.
Hey, you know, I tried to put a little bit of play in that gun at certain places, and I forgot to even talk to David about it, and he spotted it in the editing and put the flash. You know, we talked about it a little bit about the gun going off, but we didn't really say, you know, and all of a sudden I saw him do that. I'm like, God, just good eye, good editing.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the breakaways, in a perfect world, we would have had big breakaways and get some. But hey, we got, you know, we had what we had. And also, hey, we were getting ready to leave Scotland. Remember? And it was like,
yeah.
We gotta get this. We gotta get this.
We were running out of time like crazy.
Hey, we gotta get this. Okay, we're going. You know, we had no time. So they went back and got some of this stuff later. Big boy falling on top of me. I would have loved to have that actually in a long shot too, but it didn't happen. It would be cool.
See, she does the only logical thing. She just shoots him instead of freaking wanting to fight him. You idiot.
So I was talking to him and say, "You want to go?"
Why would you talk and fight? Just freaking kill the guy. I'm sure that was fun. Him landing. Because I mean,
I got to be a naked woman. I got to be a man.
I'm sure he's also not 230 pounds. Little inside joke.
I felt him.
Yeah.
You know, also when you have those Arnold Schwarzenegger type of lines at the end of a movie too, you know, you're going to say some silly stuff. I didn't know how this was going to come out. Because I'm telling her I have him right where he wants him, right where I wanted him.
Right, yeah. But no, that's perfect. I love the way
I remember that it was a weird thing because we're just there in the moment, threw it away, she chuckles, you know, and here we just went through all of this shit, and it's always like,
no, but that's how Gus is. That's why I like the fact that the way you played him is he is, you know, he is a character that's bigger than life.
And watch his rack focus too. Hey, watch the rack focus. It goes on her. She says something.
Yeah.
It goes back to here, to me. I mean, a beautiful shot. John.
Yeah, I was gonna say John Schweikert.
Uh-huh.
He
popped this back and forth like that, and I just went, wow.
It's not easy. People think it's easy. That's not easy.
Wow. And you know, it's so funny that me and John would just quietly just say, hey, Garrett, and that just, right there, just stay right there on that, and, you know, just a little note, you know, be like, and I see what he was doing and go, oh, good, man. Like, strange ending, man.
The weirdest ending in any film I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I'm the one you spoke to.
Strange ending.
But it's perfect for this film because it kind of makes you go, what on earth?
They're all dead.
Are you sure?
And
I'm sure.
Again, he's gonna rack focus. He's gonna step into focus. Yeah. It's freaking great.
Bam, bam.
And we were running out of time, man. You know, we said if we could have had a full day. A full day to do that final fight, have some good breakaways, and a good full day to, that hallway is so tight.
But you were worried about this last shot of you lying there dead with a hole in it. It actually looks perfect. It looks great. It actually looks, no, I'm serious. I'm not joking. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah, hey, man, remember this? Hey, lay down. Put a dot on it and shoot it.
It doesn't look stupid. It doesn't. You know, it might have felt that way, but I love.
This is a wild ending again. You're stepping up a whole nother wild ending, and she likes the freaking face.
Yeah, popcorn film right there. Perfect.
David Ryan Keith.
Yeah.
He's the guilty one.
That's right. Perfect.
There it is.
Well, it was definitely a lot of fun and
incredible experience.
Great times, great memories, man. I'll tell you that.
And hey, I was very happy with the outcome of it, man. As far as it isn't a typical deal. I mean, it has money. I think it's good.
I like it too. I do.
Yeah. Wild experience.
Like it too, yeah. Yep. Man in Picture, Liam Meths. Man in Picture. Murder Victims, Library Audience. Okay. Written by, just remember that, written by David Ryan Keith. Yes, he also directed it, but he also wrote it, which means he wrote the sex scene. Just wanted to remind everybody of that.
You know, it's amazing the adventure on how a film can take a roller coaster ride. Like you were saying, the big scene where you have a ton of dialogue with her and you're looking at nothing, you know, and you always try and explain it to people who don't do films. I go,
no,
you watch this and you think that they're looking at that and you go, oh, you're just reacting to that. There's people there with just boom mics and people all around and everybody's eating chips. Some people are, you know.
And you don't even know what you're supposed to watch on top of that. Sometimes it's written down, but we didn't even have that for that one. We didn't even know what was supposed to happen because it hadn't been decided yet. That makes it even harder. But people don't understand that. They just, they just think, well.
What I also liked about this whole thing was, man, it was definitely just a team effort, man. Everybody was cast, crew, and everybody was just one big group. Like you said, we're all huddled in a heater in a certain room that was a warmer deal, and everybody, you know, and it was just